Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are around the world. Welcome to Planet FPL Game Week 13 Deadline stream, and it's live. Hope everybody's well. It's 1 hour till the Game Week 13 Deadline, which is at 4:30 p.m. UK time. First of all, before we get into the YouTube chat, I will talk you through the moves that I've made for this game week. I have sold Harry Kane for Ollie Watkins, and I have sold Nico Williams for Trent Alexander-Arnold. For my patrons, they know that means only one thing: cue Darth Vader music. I've decided the time is now. It was a close call whether I took the -4 for Trent or not. Part of the thinking is I'm about to walk into a big game week 14 problem with Luke Ayling playing Manchester United and Cole Walker-Peters playing Southampton. Couldn't leave Trent there any longer. Definitely want to get rid of Phil Foden after this game week. So that's the thinking. My team is on the screen, top right hand corner. So I hope I've got my goalkeeper right this week. So that therefore is Emi Martinez in goal. Back three of Trent and Robertson. Yep, double Liverpool defence is back together. Ruben Diaz, that's another reason for getting Trent. Every chance, obviously, he could potentially get left out for Manchester City's game this evening. Midfield four of Heung-min Son, Jack Grealish vice-captain, Phil Foden, and captain Mohamed Salah. Front three, Ollie Watkins is in, Che Adams, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Bench, Sam Johnston, Thomas Souček, Luke Ayling, Cole Walker-Peters. Could obviously go absolutely mental. Graphics as ever provided by my star man Chris, FPL captain. Give the man a follow on Twitter, he's a star. In terms of my captaincy preferences for the game week, you can see my top 10 selections in order of preference in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. I make Kevin De Bruyne the best choice, slightly over Bruno Fernandes. I obviously have neither, so by default Mohamed Salah is my captain. In terms of what my expectations are for Liverpool-Tottenham, most of you will know. There's a clue here. I'm obviously a big Spurs fan. I hope the Liverpool boys all flop, including my captain, including getting Trent in on the -4. But I think Liverpool probably win the game quite routinely. However, there is obviously a possibility that Spurs could do Liverpool on the counter if it becomes a higher tempo game and if Liverpool leave themselves exposed. The player who's most likely to take advantage of that, of course, is Heung-min Son. And that's one of the reasons why he stays in the team. I could have gone -8 Heung-min Son to Bruno Fernandes. I did not think it was worth it. Right, good luck to everybody. Let's get into questions. Edwin Guan says, hello, James. Kartik Rao, which two to bench? I love the bench questions. Watkins, Cresswell, KWP, Danny Welbeck. Kartik, you know me, so you know what the answer to that's going to be. Bench the two defensive players, mate. Edwin Guan says Salah and Jota out for Fernandes and Grealish for a -4. Timing is definitely right for Jack Grealish, particularly if you're looking to wildcard in game week 16, because Villa have a great free. Removing Mohamed Salah as part of a -4 when they've got a home game, irrespective of the fact, yes, they're playing against one of the best defensive sides in the league, doesn't sound quite right. The fact you've got Jota as well obviously makes that more reasonable. For me, if you can go Jota to Grealish for the 1-free transfer, that works. If you can't, and you obviously desperately want to put the captaincy on Fernandes, Edwin, rather than Salah, fine, go for it. Stephen Hamilton says, afternoon, James, hope you're well. I am, Stephen, hope you are too. Vishwajit Sawant says, looking at Caballero 5.3, midfielder on pens, playing as striker. Yep, I think the clash of the correspondence that we released this morning, if you'd rather listen to that than me, I don't mind, because it's a very good episode. We had the Tinkermen, our Fulham correspondent, and FPL Seagull, our Brighton correspondent, on. They've both got a good set of fixtures coming up. On my fixture ticker, I make Brighton and Fulham amongst the top 3 for fixtures over the next 5 game weeks, just behind Burnley. Actually probably come out best over the next 5. I think Villa have got the best next 3. Cavallero's very interesting, 5.3. Difficult call between him and Lookman. Lookman a little bit cheaper. I think Dara the Tinkerman probably had a slight reference going for Ademola Lookman. But yeah, I no problem. If you want to buy Caballero, 5.3 million, it's low risk. I think that's absolutely fine. Mark Burns says afternoon. Thank you, Mark. Hope you're well. Bevan Rosario. Hi. Arsenal's next 6 fixtures are Southampton, Everton, Chelsea, Brighton, West Brom and Palace. How many points would they have to get for you to consider them genuine relegation candidates? Oh my God. Less than 3. Get less than 3 from Brighton, West Brom and Palace after what looks a tricky 3. It really opens up fixture-wise for Arsenal after the next 3. Less than 3, I think alarm bells would perhaps start ringing, but Arsenal were under no threat getting relegated. Shrikant says, hi James, belated happy birthday, thank you very much. Elliot says, Mane to Salah or roll the transfer? That's a tough one actually. I'm not a fan of owning Salah, even though, he's got the armband again for me. Don't enjoy it. Didn't enjoy watching him on Sunday at Fulham. Frustrates the life out of me as a player actually. I probably would roll, actually, rather than forcing that through. I think that might leave you in a good position, Elliot, particularly if there's no captaincy debate here. I realise Mane, he's without a goal since around about game week 6, I want to say. He's obviously not on a good run, but he's too good a player for that not to change at some point. And one of the things we always advise with them 2 players is probably not to flip-flop. Get the one you want, stick, stay. So I would say stay, Elliot, and that may put you in a good position for the weekend. It's obviously unknown at the moment in terms of, until the game's gone, what the condition's going to be for Saturday. So it might be that, I don't know, let's say Salah plays 65 minutes for whatever reason, say the game's comfortable, Mane plays 90. You might feel more comfortable making that move at the weekend. I would probably roll that, Elliot. Edwin Gwan says, which 2 will you start? Lamptey, Dallas and Soufal. Love your hat. Thanks, Edwin. What would I start from those 2? Lamptey should come back into the Brighton team, I should imagine, for Fulham away. I mean, it's one of them who probably either plays or he doesn't play. Dallas home to Newcastle. Soufal home to West Ham. Not easy. Definitely play Soufal, I think, of the 3. And I would probably just go Dallas over Lamptey. Little bit of a higher chance for clean sheet, I think. Though I don't fancy it. It's another reason why I took the hit for Trent. I'm also aware that I might end up with Luke Ayling coming in for Ruben Diaz for myself anyway. I don't fancy Leeds for the clean sheet. I'd probably just go Dallas just over Lamptey, actually. I think Fulham might beat Brighton. Harry Redmond says, is there an argument for Bruno having the 2 extra days, with KDB rest potential? How would you expect this to play out? Well, I think both start. I do think KDB will start, and I do think Bruno will start. When I first started thinking about it and looking ahead, I thought, Sheffield United, that's a bit dodgy for Bruno. But obviously, we've got League Cup quarter-final at Everton next week, so I think Bruno probably sits that out, and they'll use him if they need to on the night. It's not ideal that they have a run of 3 days, admittedly, whereas for KDB, 4 days break after tonight. I think tonight for KDB is probably more likely he plays. If the game is very comfortable for them, there's every chance we'll get withdrawn early, although Guardiola has decided in his latest bout of madness that he doesn't want to make substitutions in games anymore, which is really strange. Although actually it's quite a good thing for FPL managers if that's the case. So I think they'll both start, personally. The little bit of danger and doubt on Bruno Fernandes is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Chris Wilder, their press conferences are not until tomorrow. The other 18 have all had their press conferences. So technically, we haven't got any information on Manchester United, but there's nothing to suggest there's any issue with Bruno Fernandes. So I think it'll be fine. I think he plays the game on Thursday. Again, I think if it's very safe, there's a higher chance in this game than normal games that they would withdraw him early. It's a big game for United against Leeds on Sunday from a fan perspective. So he definitely plays against Leeds on the Sunday. I think they'll both start this midweek. I think they'll probably both start on the weekend. I think they'll probably both be substitutes in the League Cup next week. I think that's what you're probably looking at. So you should be okay. Chris Bradley says, Kane and Podence out for Watkins and Grealish for -4. Is it worth it? Question. In terms of attacking the fixtures, Chris, your timing's quite good from that perspective. Kane obviously away to Liverpool, Podence at home to Chelsea, and we're kind of not sure what's happening with Wolves at the moment. There's obviously the concern of Jimenez missing. Wolves have got Tottenham and Manchester United in the next 4 as well. So from a fixture perspective, it seems very fair, Chris. I don't mind it at all. Just if you're taking Kane out and you're not putting another premium in, a little bit like what I've just done, you just need to have a look ahead and just consider what you're doing captaincy-wise over the next couple of weeks. For me, I'm just going Salah for the next few weeks. I think that until a wild card in game week 16. So that's my cover. Coolio Two-Foots, good morning, James. Have a great day. Thank you, you too, James Horan. Hey, James. Hope you enjoyed the birthday. Should I bench Souček or Watkins? You'll know the answer to that, James. It's on the screen, mate. Have a look at my team. There's an answer. I am nearly always going to say play the forward. FPL Andy says, afternoon, James. Bevan Rosario start. Zuma or Soufal? Who's more likely to get the clean sheet? In the predictions we did for our Patreon pod, I've actually predicted both games to be 1-1. So that's probably not going to help you, Bevan. I think you pick the premium player. When there's a close call like that, you go with the premium. Not that he's a premium price, but he's from a premium team, if you will. So I think it would be pick Zuma, mate. Praise says, hello, James. How's your day been? So I've got Gator. Do you think it's worth taking a hit to bring in Martinez for him? And if that's a no, who do I play, McCarthy or Gator? It's a no on the hit. In terms of who to play, I'd probably edge for McCarthy. Just twofold reasons for that. One, obviously Arsenal are increasing the amount of attempts they're having, so if they keep failing to score, there's every chance McCarthy's going to be picking up sort of an 8-9 pointer for you or so. Because of that as well, even if Arsenal do score, he's probably not getting a 2-pointer, McCarthy. You're probably looking at a 3-pointer or so. So I would just go McCarthy over Gator. Not a lot in it. No, I don't think it's worth the hit to be removing the goalkeeper. Says the guy who took a hit for a goalkeeper 2 weeks ago that obviously didn't work out. Jordan Harrison says, hi James, what are your thoughts on Salah to KDB? Worried about having no Man City cover? If it's a straight free transfer, you want to stick the armband on KDB, it's absolutely fine. All I'd say to anybody who's making that move, and it's a move that I considered myself genuinely, the main reason for deciding not to do it is knowing that I will want to go back to Mohamed Salah in the next couple of weeks, and I've not got many transfers to play with as it's all short-term thinking. And I think by default, this is the one of the 3 weeks where I'll look at it and go, okay, do you know what? I haven't got the best captaincy this week, but it will cover. He can score in any game, particularly as it's at Anfield as well. So you just need to have a little think ahead, Jordan, about what you're going to do afterwards. Are you going to want to reverse that transfer? If you're going to want to reverse it immediately, then I probably wouldn't. If you're very happy with the rest of your squad, obviously jump between the two if that's what you want to do. Absolutely fine. Justin Dyer says, good day, James. Hope your squad works out for you and good luck in the busy period. Just to clarify, guys, I hope that the 3 Liverpool players I have for those joining late, I hope between them they get, well, let's see, 6 points, I guess. Salah captain times 2, 4 points. 1 point for Robertson and Trent. I'd prefer that to be 0 for the two of them. That would mean Spurs getting 4, hopefully. So I hope they die on their arse, honestly. But thank you very much, Justin. Maybe the rest of my squad, including Sonny, will do the business. Owen White says, leader in a mini-league has KDB captain and Bruno vice-captain. I'm debating who to captain between the two. We have a very similar squad. The differences are Zaha, Grealish, DCL for him, Salah, Lookman and Souček for me. Owen, it's game week 13 of 38. Captain the player that you think is going to score the most points. That is your answer. Thank you very much. Praise. Oscar says, predictions of Spurs v Liverpool. So my prediction correct score is 2-0 to Liverpool. Is my prediction. I can see the game being 2-0 at half time and it being a bit of a non-event in the second half. It's definitely possible that we could do them on the counter. I would not be surprised if Son hits double points this week. Actually, I would be surprised, but I can foresee a scenario in the game where we do them over on the counter, and him against Trent in behind, he could have a field day. Matip that side as well, who I think will play, but is obviously struggling with a back complaint. Sonny could really have some fun in the game, more than he would have against so-called weaker opposition, actually. But I just think Liverpool will have too much strength for us. I think they've got an 11 which is strong enough at the moment, and the difference between Liverpool and the other big clubs we played differently, as I've spoken about many times on the podcast, they can hit you in many different ways. What Tottenham will want to do with the game is obviously make it slow tempo, Liverpool going side to side. Trent back is a blow for Tottenham because Tottenham allow a lot of crosses into the box and Trent and Reece James are the two best in the league at crossing the ball. Liverpool, you could argue, don't have a target man as such, but the movement of particularly from Trent to Mane on the back post. Mane's good in the air for a little fella. So I think Liverpool will probably win the game routinely, but I'm not going into it thinking we haven't got a chance. We've definitely got a chance. Harry Redmond says Ayling or KWP, have McCarthy in nets. Well, I've gone Ayling second sub and KWP third, so I would stick with that, Harry. H. Barley 11 says Spurs have Liverpool twice, Chelsea and Man City in the league in the next 60 days. Win 2 and draw 2 and you win the title. What you reckon? That's thinking a long way away, mate, because we could do very well in the big games this year and not put away weaker sides like Palace, for example. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Tottenham need to be consistent to have a chance of winning a title. In an odd way, it's more important what Tottenham do against Leicester, Wolves, Fulham and Leeds than what they do against Liverpool. If you said to me now Tottenham will take 12 points from the 4 games after Liverpool, but you'll get beat at Liverpool, I will take that right now. So it's consistency that's very important for Tottenham. More so, in my opinion, actually what happens in the big games. Angus McPhail says, bench which one of Rafinha, DCL, Watkins or Adams? Angus, you know, mate, you know what I'm going to say to that. Play the forwards, mate. Unfortunately, that's Rafinha bench. Dan Stairs says, afternoon, James. Dare say you're having a better week than me, as I'm a gooner. Good morning, Dan. Thank your lucky stars that you're not a patron. Didn't listen to the differential podcast that we released at just gone midnight last night. I think there's a few Gooner patrons who might have left. No, they wouldn't. It was all in jest. Hope we don't sack the boss. Talking about Marteta, and he's able to whip the players into shape. Question, why Watkins ahead of Souček for you? Well, Ollie Watkins at home to one of the weakest teams in the league. Admittedly, yep, Burnley clean sheet at the weekend. Getting better, getting players back fit's important for them. Can't leave Watkins out home to Burnley. No point owning him. Souček, look, every week I leave him on the bench is a danger. Last week I didn't get away with it. Most weeks that I have done so, I have got away with it. And Palace are one of the best sides aerially, defensively. Simple as that. Even if they weren't, I'd still be picking Ollie Watkins. Craig Davis says, need to bench 2. Craig Davis, that's just a personal thing. Need to bench 2 out of these 5. Robertson, nope. Cancelo, nope. Concert, Chilwell, Justin, help. I'd pick the 3 premium players. Concert first sub, and there's a good chance you'll see him. That's probably the order I'd have. That's a very strong back 5 though, Craig. I like that. Ritwick 1998, Grealish and Vardy out for Son and Calvert-Lewin. No Spurs, hurted my rank a lot. 725, 775k for 3 weeks. What's your overall rank, mate? I've had only 2 red arrows all season. Absolutely smashing it at 2.6 million. Guys, don't follow me for FPL advice. I don't know why any of you are here. Stephen Hamilton says, bringing in a City defender this week, Diaz or Cancelo, bench KWP or Justin. I would pick Justin to play over KWP. I should say that I advised everybody to leave Charlie Taylor out at the weekend, but I still think that was quite effective of the red card in the game. The goal looked like it was coming before Xhaka had a brain dead moment, actually. So I pick Justin over KWP. In terms of buying Diaz or Cancelo, you're playing the lottery of who's going to play. I think the chances of Diaz playing over Cancelo is slightly higher. So, I mean, that's the same kind of decision I made a few weeks back. So, that would be my answer to go with Diaz personally. But you're playing the Pep Roulette game, aren't you? FPL Cobbler this afternoon, James. Loving the return of TAA to your team. All the best. Thank you, mate. Jeremy Callard. Hi, James. Would you do Sterling to Bruno for free? Captain KDB anyway. Look, I think Raheem Sterling is on my list and 4th in terms of captaincy this week, and it's 4th rather than higher because I think there's a strong possibility he gets left out. And I think if you've got him and you haven't got Bruno or De Bruyne, you probably feel obliged to stick the armband on him, and I can't argue that, but there's a good chance he's going to get left out. So oddly enough, in spite of the difficulty looking at the fixture and selling Raheem Sterling, it's probably the right move, Jeremy. FPL Ibro says, hi James, good luck for the week. Who would you bench in order? Souček, Lamptey, Welbeck. Well, I'd play Danny Welbeck, but so in order it would be Welbeck, Souček, Lamptey. Praise says, why do you think KDB is a better option? I think KDB is a better option because if you said to me now one of Manchester City or Manchester United are going to go mental this week and get 4 or 5, my money would definitely be on Manchester City. Simple as that. Atul says, what do you think about Maddison as an asset? I think he scored twice at the weekend, and it's the first goals that he scored since, I think, he scored at Newcastle on New Year's Day. He also went about 363 days without an assist before one in game week 11, the assist for Vardy at Sheffield United. So, need to see more. So, wouldn't be of interest. But, look, not short of confidence. He's a player that rates himself. I think he's had a difficult 2020. So have the rest of us. A lot of it for Maddison's because of injury. He is a good player. I don't think the system's currently getting the best out of him. I would prefer him playing as a 10 with Harvey Barnes wide on the left and probably Ayoze Perez or right or Kedges under. And so he's got more options in terms of what he can see. It'll open up more space for him to have shots at goal as well. So Brighton's a good side to play against from an FPL perspective, let's be honest. So no interest to me at the moment, personally. Michael says, hi James, use my 2 free transfers on Son, Jota to Bruno and Anguissa. Would you do Adams to Bamford for a -4 on top of that? How do you think these two will fare over the next 6? Wildcard used, by the way. I probably wouldn't do that for a -4, personally. They've obviously both got a difficult fixture over the weekend with Bamford at United. Che Adams playing Manchester City. Obviously, look, Bamford, because of the chances Leeds create, can score in any game. And Che Adams did score against Manchester City last season as well. So I don't think I'd force that from -4. Who performs better over the next 6? Probably just Bamford. Probably. But I don't think that's worth the -4 now, mate. As he says, Ferran Torres a worthy gamble. I don't know about worthy. Does he probably start tonight? Yes, you could get the return. You're probably going to be thinking straight afterwards, I might want to remove this back out. And it becomes like what it's become for Foden, just fucking sits there for ages. So it wouldn't be a player that I'd consider personally. But in terms of a 1 week punt, yeah, sure. There's every chance he starts tonight. Alex Percival says, afternoon James, what you reckon? Do I play Che Adams up front or sack him off for Lookman to fill out a nice 5-man midfield? Alex, you know from my previous answers what I'm going to say. Let's play Che Adams, mate. Final Richie says, g'day mate, hope you're well. Let's out another point on the boardy. What's your thoughts on Cavallero as a Jota replacement with Mitrovic coming back to fitness? Well, I think Fulham stay with what they're doing at the moment, which means Mitrovic not playing. Mitrovic is back in the squad for Fulham this week, but I'd be surprised if they change that up. You could make a case that Brighton obviously have issues. To be honest, it's more from dead ball situations. Fulham probably don't have the players to exploit that, but I don't think Fulham should change the way they're playing at the moment, which is obviously giving that team confidence. So, yeah, I have no problem with Cavallero, mate. I think that's absolutely fine as a replacement. Sit on the money, reassess at the weekend. FPL Platypus says, I like my team for the next few game weeks, so would it be worth transferring Robertson to Mendy for this week and then reversing it at the weekend? No, mate. What's to say that Benjamin Mendy's even definitely going to play? Yeah, at least you know Robertson will play, and you know me, I'm tipping Liverpool for a clean sheet, so no, I would not be doing that, mate. Ritwick1998 says, when are you playing the wild card? Save mine 2 till now. Quite simple, mate. The last possible opportunity to use it, which is prior to game week 16. That's when it will be getting launched. I'm very hopeful that we'll get the January TV fixtures in the next, what's today? Tuesday. Next 74 hours or so. And then we can all know how it looks for potential bench boost in game week 19. But I'll be saving it right till the end. Oscar Featherstone, start one of Soufal or Lamptey. Probably just edge for Soufal. Jassim said, what about Ings' captaincy? A little bit rogue. Don't mind it. Would have been pleasing to see him get so many minutes at the weekend. But they have to be a little bit cautious. Obviously play Arsenal tomorrow is 3 days after Sheffield United. And obviously Man City's only another 3 days later as well. So I'd be a little bit cautious of minutes. I'm sure he will play at least a good 70 odd. I don't think that's the best option, is it? Let's be honest, all right? Arsenal are on a really bad run at home. No one scored more than 2 against them. So, sorry, apologies. Villa obviously got the 3. but I don't think Southampton can counter, and that was the major problem for Arsenal that night, counter in quite the same way that Villa can, actually. So, I mean, it's not a standout option, is it? To be honest, I'd rather stick the armband on Heung-min Son than Danny Ings this week. So not for me, just saying. Harry Redmond says, love the pod. Quick question for you. Not sure if you would ever follow Dutch footy, but fantasy for it is excellent. Would you like this chip for defensive boost, etc. added? It's the... it's that chip, is it? In terms of chips, Harry, if that's a serious question, I get asked a lot, oh, what would you change to the chips, whatever. To be honest, I don't think about it that much. I don't really care. Like, whatever it is, just okay, let's play the game. So, like, all-out defence or something. We've got part the bus in EFL Championship Gaffer Fantasy this year. So, yeah, to be honest, less chips the better for me, to be honest. I quite like it the way it is. You're very welcome, Kartik. William Jones. Hi, James. Thoughts on this -4? Jota and Brewster to Souček and Watkins. Sounds very reasonable, mate. Hit the submit transfer button. Rutwick says, Watkins or Souček, who to bench? Come on, my friend, you're regularly in these streams. You already know what the answer to that will be. Mark Burns, Salah out for -4. Fernandes. Nah, I don't think so. I kind of already explained that in other answers. Thank you, Jassim. Rishi Patel, Chilwell out. James in this game week. Next week, Robertson and DCL out, and Sufel or Bednarek in, and Kane in. All 3 transfers. Sounds like you got your plan, Rishi. Ayub Seller. Hi, James. Play Lamptey or Podence? I would play Podence of the two, I think. Look, he's basically playing false 9 at the moment. Had a great effort from the edge of the box against Villa at the weekend. So, yeah, still Podence, I think. Z21293. Hi, James. 2 questions from me this week. 1, thoughts on Diaz starting tonight? So to answer that first, 65 to 70%. I don't think you could put it any better than that. 2, any idea what's going on with Bamford's injury? Marcelo Bielsa said in his press conference yesterday that he would no longer give any team news on Leeds players, but he also said that Patrick Bamford did not pick up an injury on Friday. So I'm not aware of any issues with Patrick Bamford. Lee Jackson, my friend, hello mate. Says, afternoon Bosch, just done Salah to Grealish and Watkins to Wilson. I'm rich now, but am I mad? You went Watkins to Wilson. I presume you mean Wilson to Watkins. I fucking hope, Lee. Lee's a Villa fan as well. There's got to be Wilson to Watkins. Nothing's mad in this game, mate. You got to do what you like to do. Benny Blanco, who told me yesterday he would not be in this stream, says, hi James. Who to bench? Souček, DCL, Bamford or Watkins? You numpty, Benny. Next question. RACS. Hey James. Thinking of dropping Cancelo and Jota to Fernandes, a non-playing defender, means a reduced bench for 2 game weeks, but means I have Salah, KDB, Bruno and Kane. Is it too big a risk? Probably, yes. My bench is actually probably too strong at the moment, but I've just moved Nico Williams to Trent, right? So that's kind of what I'm going to be left in. It gives me cover for the next couple of weeks. Any issues that arise, I could potentially just leave someone. Let's say, for example, I don't know, that Thomas Souček did get injured. I don't need to force the transfer there. I could just leave him be there till 2 weeks and decide what I want to do when I then wildcard. It probably is. Do you need the captaincy cover of all 4 of them? Is what I would ask, particularly in the short term. I think Salah's the one that most of us need most. Looking at what's coming next, right? Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, the 3 afterwards. Now, Salah away to Palace. Is it the best choice? To be honest, on looking at the fixtures for the weekend, if he's available and fit, I'd say yes. West Brom at home, definitely yes. Newcastle away, probably Kane against Fulham is probably the best choice. But Salah can carry you through like he's going to carry me through this week. I don't think you need all of that, personally. It's FOMO, isn't it? I don't think you need all of it. Michael Sveden says, hi James, play Walker Peters or Charlie Taylor. I would probably just go Taylor. However, if I had Charlie Taylor in my squad and had to play one, I would play Walker Peters. But that's because of, many of you will know me, I would prefer the all-in strategy. I would have Taylor suddenly going against Grealish and Watkins, so that's no good for me. That can't maximise what I want. So personally, I'd play Walker Peters. If you don't have the Villa assets, I'd go Charlie Taylor. Benny Blanca says one more start, Justin or Ayling. That's a little bit more difficult than Justin Dallas one I had earlier, because I presume Alien's going to play centre-back, which fucking eliminates his potential for attacking returns. But I think that playing Newcastle... No, I'd play Justin. I think, Benny. The one I had earlier was Lamptey or Dallas, wasn't it? I think, yeah, Justin over Alien. I'd just go Justin, yeah. Heavy Finger 7 says, cheers, James. All sorted. Just wanted to say thanks for the content. Hit that like. Thanks, mate. You heard the man. Hit the like button. I never do all this kind of selling shit. You meant to hit the subscribe button as well. Much appreciated. When you all hit the subscribe button, I can see all the subscribes go up. That's not true, actually. Vish Wadget says, how much chance of Stones keeping his place? 5 million defenders, if not Stones. Have Dallas, KWP, Chilwell, Sufel for next 4-5 game weeks. I don't know what's happening with Laporte. We discussed this on the main podcast. Yes, it's a strange one. I think most of us presumed Laporte it was getting a bit of a break and would come back in for Manchester United. The Stones play tonight. Fuck me. I mean, that really is a 50-50 call, isn't it? And what does it mean afterwards? I don't know. I'm not in Pep's head. I mean, I assume Laporte and Diaz is the first choice too. So, short-term thinking, you might get away with it. Long-term, not great. With what you've got defensively, I'd throw Ezri Konsa in there. I think it's a good choice, very short-term for you, mate, for a nice little rotation. Covers Dallas KWP problem for the weekend as well. Konsa's got West Brom away. Gemma Brown says, hey, James, who'd start between Justin and Lamptey? That would be Justin. James says, hi, James, who would you play, Balbuena or Walker-Peters? Balbuena for me. Christopher Guinness, good afternoon, James. Your favourite type of goal? The one that Spurs scored that ends up in the net. Fantasy Football Hub. Who is it? Is it Andrew Ferguson? Is it Will Thomas? Hello, guys. Afternoon, James. Fergie here. I should have read the fucking question first, shouldn't I? Hello, Andrew. Hopeful for a Foden start to finally reward owners' patience. It was part of the idea of kind of keeping him through the weekend, was thinking, yep, nothing at Old Trafford plays tonight. And I could have that completely wrong. If he plays 0 minutes and I get Suchet off the bench, fucking is what it is, isn't it? The danger's the one-pointer, of course. I think he starts. Personally, I think he starts. FPL Bulldog, thank you for your very kind comments on Twitter earlier. Says, have Chilwell and James. Which one would you sell if you wanted to spread the risk? I would sell Chilwell, personally. More money in the bank. I don't think there's a lot between the two. I mean, Reece James is a brilliant asset to own at the moment. Just it doesn't work out for me in the short term. Thinking they've got a tough 5 fixtures: Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham, Arsenal, Villa, Man City. The next 5 is a tough run for them. They're both likely to get rotated at some point, but actually the more difficult schedule probably makes them a little bit more secure. Ideally, I have a sneaky that Reece James won't play away to Arsenal in game week 15. And I have a sneaky that Ben Chilwell doesn't play at home to Aston Villa in game week 16. Does that help your thinking? That's just a personal looking at the fixtures and what the two teams might come up against. But I would prefer to own James rather than Chilwell. Tom Johnson says, hi, James, risk Lamptey or start Charlie Taylor? Lamptey, fine. It's probably either going to play or not play, mate. So, yeah, you can risk that. Julian says, play KWP or Lewis. That's the more difficult one. I think KWP, because of the potential for the attacking output. Steve Bruce was also very cautious about players who played at the weekend and what their situation is. He's basically ruled out Isaac Hayden, who covered at centre-backs. He came straight into the team following COVID. We don't actually have all the information of who had it and who didn't, actually, from Newcastle. So I wouldn't fancy Newcastle for a clean sheet at Leeds. I don't particularly fancy Cole Walker-Peters for it either, but I think you'd play KWP there, mate. Vikram says, belated birthday wishes, mate. Thank you. Jota and Mitchell to Maguire and Rafinha/Click on 2 free transfers. I would go for that. It seems very reasonable. I spoke up Harry Maguire's credentials yesterday on the podcast, particularly for those who've got the first wild card. Look, Sheffield United away this week. Aerial threat against Leeds from set pieces at the weekend. He could comfortably get you sort of 14, 15 points over the next 2 game weeks with a clean sheet this week and a goal at the weekend, even if they concede, for example. So I quite like Maguire's very short-term thinking, though. I don't know if that's a player I'd want long-term, but it seems absolutely fine for 2 free transfers, Vikram. FPL Hitman says, good morning. It's morning where he is. Hope you're doing well. Switch Salah to Bruno for an FT. Armband on Bruno too. Good luck with the game week. Hope Harry doesn't ask for the iPad mid-game. I shouldn't be too bad off this week if he does that, because all the games are on Amazon Prime here, and so even the games on the TV are on a delay as well. But yeah, every time I'm forced to watch the game on the iPad, and then he tries to snatch the iPad off me. So then I put it on the TV, forgetting the TV's a minute ahead of the iPad. I always seem to miss a goal. It's literally happened 5 or 6 times over the last 2 game weeks. Unbelievable. XTS says, good afternoon, James. I trust you and the family are well. Benching Kane against Trent Robbo, but fully expect Cancelo and or Diaz not to play this week. Look, never bench Harry Kane, irrespective of fixture. Ever. He scored goals at Anfield before. Don't be surprised if he scores this week. I fully know I've removed him from -4. It's not a slight on Harry. It's the timing's probably right for what I'm wanting to do with the team. Listen, I would not be surprised if Harry Kane scores tomorrow night and gets a 9-pointer or so. Wouldn't be surprised at all. I go into every game thinking Harry Kane can score. So to sell him is always going to be particularly dangerous for myself, especially as it's part of a -4. But had I not taken the -4, honestly, I would have just gone Kane to Watkins free transfer. The -4 essentially is the Trent move. I would have gone Kane to Watkins as a free transfer and left the money if I hadn't done it. You are quite right though. Expecting Cancelo and Diaz to play tonight? Probably not, but who knows. But I think you should find a different solution there, mate. Super Tiger says, hi James, where do you rate Mahrez as a captain option this game week? As not in your top 10 list, risking him versus Bruno, but undecided. So, Riyad Mahrez doesn't make his way in there because I really feel like he's the one I really don't fancy to play this evening, personally. That's why he's not on the list. If I had confidence that Riyad Mahrez would start tonight, he'd be on that list, obviously, because of what he did against Burnley and stuff. That's why. I don't think he starts, personally. That's why he's not there. So it is a risk. I wouldn't advise it. Bailey Drury says, hi mate, he's dropping Justin this week. Mental. Got a back 3 of Chilwell, Target, KWP. But Justin bench right now. That's okay, my friend. That's your choice. It's absolutely fine. Rhinos Leeds. Hi James Maguire for a hit or start Brewster. That's the emoji you've put there. Just to note, guys, it's just over 20 minutes to the deadline. If you're asking a question from here on in, there's a good chance I won't get to it, but I will get through these as quick as I can. Maguire in for a hit. Or start Brewster. I'd want to know what the rest of your bench is, mate. There's no point you putting it in the chat now or in my DMs. I'm not going to see it before deadline. I don't know. If you're an aggressive player, do it. If you're not, don't. I suspect it will probably frustrate. But if you got the cojones, I don't hate it. I know there's a lot out there who would religiously think never take a hit for a defender. I don't mind that principle. I've just done it myself. So I don't hate it. If you're worried about that bench, my pal, hit it. Play it. David Newell says, hi James, who to bench, Gross or Souček? I'd probably bench Gross. And the reason I would bench Gross over Souček, which is a little bit annoying because he's obviously on pens. Obviously played again at Leicester at the weekend, and we are into a period now where picking, understanding what Graham Potter's going to do with his team becomes very, very difficult. And there's every chance he might be a substitute. Simple as that. So on that one, actually, I'd go Souček. Victor Sandbag, here is a strategy question. It's literally just fallen to me that I don't think I set up my draft team this week, which is really annoying because I don't know if my patrons know this or not, but I'm unbeaten in Draft League this year. 1-11, drawn 1. Smashing it this year. I feel like I want to check it. That's not open. Everyone, come on, James, answer my questions, please. Yeah, I will do in a sec. I just need to check what I've got in my draft team. Come on, draft. Stop pressing help. Victor Sandberg, here's a strategy question. Do I bank my free transfer to allow myself to have 2 free transfers next week, or do I improve my bench? That would be replacing Dunn to Taylor. Pros, cons with each suggestion. It depends what the rest of your bench is, Victor, which I obviously don't know. But as a straightforward move, yeah, look, Burnley's run of fixtures not bad. I'd possibly, if you're concerned that you ain't going to get 11 out, make the transfer. If you think you're fine, I'd roll it, personally. Draft team. 4 nails on the bench. Don't like that. Let's put him in. 4 nails in for Gross. That's what made me think of it. Birth Media, no Chelsea captain differential for Wolves. Nah, you're not often going to fancy a player as captaincy versus Wolves. Don't fancy that. I mean, where would Timo Werner rank on there? Probably 12th or 13th or so. That's not the best option for this week, is it? I don't think. Away to Wolves. I know they're not in the best place with Jimenez missing, but it's got to be. City got West Brom United, got Sheffield United. There's got to be better options this week. And generally, I would prefer someone like Patrick Bamford against Newcastle, personally. Bets1604, hi James, who do you think is the highest point scorer in Sky from now until the overhaul? From now until the overhaul, Kevin De Bruyne. William Jones says, also James, is this an okay bench order? Souček, Ayling, Lamptey? It is, yeah. Luke Hopkinson brought in Bowen for Jota and benching Ayling, Leeds fan, but can't see us keeping clean sheet. Got Rafinha, hope it's a good one, mate. And to you, Luke. Miles Impet, hello James, thanks for doing these streams as always. I'm glad that the fucking Wi-Fi is holding up this week. Apologies for the problems Friday, guys. Do you think Foden plays today? Could it be worth a 1 week punt? I would not buy him. No way would I buy him. Look, he's been hanging around in my squad since like game week 3, mate. So yes, I think he probably starts tonight. 1 week punt, nah. No, I wouldn't bother buying the fella. Andy Martin, who's someone like me, has owned Phil Foden for a long time. Our Leeds correspondent says, afternoon, James. Good to see another Foden owner. Let's go. Andy, have you stuck the armband on him? I know he was thinking about captaining him. Don't do that, Andy. It's one too many, mate. Please don't do that. And I know that when I say something like that, it makes you want to do it more. I'm genuine. Don't do it, mate. FPL Bulldogs says, better punt between now and game week 16 wildcard. Lookman or Cavallero? It's a tough call. I personally just favour Lookman, but it's really, really close. It's really close because obviously Cavallero's playing OOP and he's on the pens as well. There's a little bit of chance that Cavallero comes out the team. That doesn't influence that decision particularly because I think he will stay in the team. I would slightly favour Lookman personally, and I think he'd be an enjoyable player to own actually. Part of that thinking for me might be thinking, well, whoever I got out of the two, I'd probably be rotating with Souček and making week-to-week decisions who I played. And I think in that position, I'd just rather played a little bit less. And it's that might be the deciding factor in my thinking. Jake Powell says, looking forward, double game week 19. Worth it to transfer my 4.0 keeper out for Johnston for my bench boost team. Jake, don't do that yet, my friend, because you don't know who's got a double game week or not, right? So hold that for roll the transfer, mate. Matthew Ian M. Most says, hi James, hope you're well and good luck this game week. Just joined in now, so sorry if been asked. Do you think it's worth triple captain KDB against West Brom? It hasn't, mate. You're never going to get me regularly advised to triple captain someone in a single game week. And in this case, are you even 100% sure that he plays? Can't be advising that, my friend. Lionel Mazabay says, thoughts on Ben Rama, 6 million, had 6 shots against Leeds. Fancy him as a differential to replace Jota. Don't mind that. On our Patreon pods yesterday, in fact, it was the main podcast yesterday, I asked Suj, who was obviously a West Ham fan, for those who don't know, if he'd prefer Benrahma to Bowen. He actually said he'd probably rather go for Benrahma now. So, no, don't mind that at all. Rebel FPL, hi James, great to see you again as always. Cheers, pal. Information period. I have KDB, Mahrez and Jesus. Should I go with 3 or transfer 1 out? You suck it up and go with it, mate. Rebel FPL, Captain Sterling, Rashford or Grealish? Oh. You probably go Sterling, mate, but I don't think he starts. That's how I've got it listed. If that's the 3 I had, I'd take. Personally, I would take the chance that Sterling played and stick the armband on him, and I'd vice captain Rashford. But if you're uncomfortable with that, I would just stick it on Rashford, mate. FPL United captain this week, KDB or Bruno. On the screen, bottom right hand corner, my friend. Rebel FPL, obviously you've got the list. Worried that Sterling won't start, as we always are with Pep. Yeah, as explained. Information period. Mate, I would delete one of your messages or you won't be getting questions answered next week, mate. And the silly little spray cans you have, or washing your hands thing, whatever that is, that doesn't make me draw attention to your question anymore. Luke Hopkinson, how much money have you got in the bank, James? I have 1.9 million. Ready to move Foden out for the weekend, but I have no concrete plans of what I want to do for the weekend as yet. Rebel FPL, just enjoy hearing your rationale for the rankings. Cheers, mate. No probs. Lamichi -4 for DCL and Jota to Watkins and Grealish. Can't go from Jota directly to Grealish. Yeah, I think that's fine. Although I think DCL might have some joy at Leicester with obviously Johnny Evans suspended. Cagliari injury is not available to return. Rebel FPL, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm hoping for a Robertson goal in a 1-0 win with a Henderson assist. Rebel FPL, I'm a Tottenham fan and I own Robertson, Trent and Salah, and you'll well know, mate, I hope they all do nothing. Luke Hopkinson, tea or coffee in there? It's actually water at the moment because I'm speaking too fast, but I'm a coffee guy, not a tea man. El Dante says, don't say that, no son. I can't remember what it was to. Lauren Harris, hi James, hope you're good. Score prediction for tomorrow, I predict a Mourinho 0-1 masterclass. I hope you're right, Lauren, but I'm hoping for a 3-0 home thumping, may the best team win. Lauren, I hope that the worst team win, because that is mine, but I wish you luck, Lauren. El Dante says, Kane to Son, free tranny. I don't suppose either of them would be into free trannies personally. I wouldn't bother. But I do think those who know me will know every week I would prefer to captain Kane over Son. If someone had to say, right, you have to captain one of them two tomorrow, if I'd still owned Kane, I would have gone Son. Honestly, I would fancy Son more tomorrow, but I wouldn't bother with that. Calvin L says Calvert-Lewin or Wilson. I'm just not big on Callum Wilson. Look, 2 good fixtures, Leeds away, Fulham at home, then it's rough. It's not a great period for Calvert-Lewin either. I just don't want a Newcastle attacking player, personally. So, by default, I'd still say Calvert-Lewin. Dean M, I feel Son will expose TAA. I'm hoping so, mate. It is possible, I do agree. Edwin Guan, who would you sell, Salah or Kane? For what? I've just sold Kane, mate. So, there's your answer. Joe Finley Badder, afternoon James, looking forward getting to the Vic tonight for the Brentford game before we go tier 3 tomorrow. Any gaffer moves for you? Oh, fuck. What time's deadline, Joe? DM me and tell me deadline. I'm fucked there, and I ain't done my draft team. Ain't done my championship team. 5:30. I've already missed it, haven't I? Looks like I've rolled, mate. I think I had 2 threes anyway, which is annoying. Matt Gilbert, what put you off the Salah? Bruno Hokey Cokey, you mentioned briefly on the pod, mate. To be honest, Matt, the main thing that's put me off is I want to get rid of Phil Foden after this game week. So that's the main thing that's put me off. And also, I would have gone into the weekend with Ayling away to United, Walker Peters at home to Manchester City, and Nico Williams sitting there doing nothing. And I'd have been forced into playing one of them, knowing that obviously in any week Ruben Diaz could get left out, and I might have been forced with playing 2 of them. So I was either money forced into probably playing one of them in the worst case scenario. So it just fixed the team up a little bit for me better. And I think that Salah is still viable to captain away to Palace. To be honest, you could argue Bruno is obviously the best choice against Leeds at the weekend, but I think it's a close call. I'll probably default to Salah. So I'm going to fix other things. That's the reason why. But if anybody's sitting there with a squad who's got no issues, really happy with 10 other players, you want to go Salah to Bruno, I'm cool with that. Like, I do think obviously Bruno is a better choice this week. Pedro Rouse, hi James, Robbo, Soufal, Lamptey, bench 2. Good luck for this week. You never bench Robertson, and I wouldn't bench Reece James either. So there's your answer. CAFC Kidders, how's it going, James? Is John Stones worth the punt to double up with Diaz? Answered this a little while ago. God knows what Guardiola's doing. I did consider it myself. And I kind of decided, I thought about it to partner up with Diaz myself, thinking, well, I'll at least get one of them. And then suddenly you rock up with Laporte and Ake and you think, what is this? I didn't think John Stones was worth the -4 in comparison to Trent, personally. But I did consider it. If you've got no fires, I don't mind you pairing up Stones and Diaz. You are likely to get at least one. Matt S says, hi James, would you start Lamptey or Soufal? I would go Soufal, just. Sheila says, thoughts on Vardy and Bissouma to Brewster and Fernandes with 2 FTs. Don't be buying Brewster now, mate. Personally, I'd leave that shit. I'd leave it. Just leave Vardy. It's alright, man. Got another good fixture. Luke Hopkinson, do you think Walker plays? Luke, you don't have to put it in capital letters. I'll get there if I get there, mate. Probably no. But I don't pick the team. Chris Woodruff, start Ayling or Souček? Souček. Tanzida says Diaz or Lamptey to start. I mean, you play Diaz and you get Lamptey off the bench if he doesn't. Vabath, hi James, bench 1, KWP, Dallas or Welbeck. It's going to have to be KWP for me, isn't it? Matt S, I'm on 10 straight green arrows. You're a banger, mate. Rebel FPL, because I'm 3.1 million, so you're still better than me. Oh, better than someone. That's good. Ricardo says, Jota Benrahma worth a punt would mean benching Watkins. Don't fancy Villa without Douglas, Barkley and Cash. It's a fair point in what you're saying about the missing players for Villa, but they've done all right without Barkley. Douglas Luiz is more of a problem because it facilitates what the attacking players do, but I mean Villa's performance is probably very much on what Jack Grealish does. I would not be leaving Ollie Watkins on the bench. I know you don't fancy it. In terms of the transfer, Jota to Benrahma, very reasonable answer to that a short time ago. Edwin Guan, who do you think will score more over the next few weeks? Watkins and Salah or Grealish and Kane? Watkins and Salah. Chris Poyner, no Evans for Leicester, so Justin on the bench over Lamptey for me. I reckon Justin will be centre-back, so no chance for attacking returns. Yeah, that's a fair point, Chris. Could well play centre-back. I think there's a chance they won't want to change that. In the predicted lineup I did for my advanced tiers, I had Harvey Barnes and Mark Albrighton playing as wing-backs and Justin as centre-back. But I could also have that very wrong. It might even be they switch to a 4, but I don't think they'd play Fuchs centre-back in a 4. Sam Thomas is John Stones. I've done John Stones, Sam, so sorry, I'm going to skip that. Chris Allen, I'm holding City, United and Villa assets with game in hand in mind. Smart hold or the double game is too far away to be playing in this way. Too far away, mate. You ain't going to get them to at least game week 18. There's too many, shouldn't be holding City, United players or Villa players. Look, Villa all three have got decent fixtures, right? Stop worrying about the double game weeks. I think United and Burnley almost definitely goes into 18 or 19 because United are now in the Europa League. I feel that's nearly certain. City Villa from game week 1, less confident. That could go into one of the Champions League midweeks. Don't plan for it till you know it. United, yes, the double game week is very likely to happen in 18 or 19 in my opinion. But look, we've got I think we find out in the next 3 days what's happening, so forget about that. David Bell, hi James, have no City. Should I lose Salah for KDB -4 of Bruno already? Nah, you can just stick the armband on Bruno, mate, and probably just go to bed early tonight. S7, can you give my brother Karim De Kos a shout out? It's his birthday today. Karim De Kos, shout out. Happy birthday. How old are you now? Vincent Ganter, I'm thinking Wilson to Welbeck to make funds available for Son back by game week 16 and Kilman to Diaz. Any other options at same price range I'm overlooking? Keep up the good work and have a lovely week. Don't mind Danny Welbeck. Fulham and Sheffield United next 2 fixtures. If you're going to do it, the time is now, so I don't mind that. The problem with Danny Welbeck is he is one sprint away from an injury, mate. James Lambert, any thoughts on Robertson, Kane and Anguissa, or go to Fernandes, Adams and Diaz -8? Already have Salah and KDB. James, make yourself a coffee, mate. Put your feet up. Mustafa says start Soufal or Lamptey. Soufal, Tanzania. Hi James, Diaz or Lamptey to start? You've already asked that, mate. Jay, best 4.4 million players before game week 16 wildcard. Taylor, Robinson, Balbuena or Cooper. Taylor on the fixtures, not bad. I don't think Brighton have one, do they? You wouldn't want to go Fulham. The Leeds guys are all 4.5, aren't they? So from them, you can have trust in West Ham. Chelsea away in there's a little bit grim, but Balbuena's okay. I wouldn't buy Cooper personally. Robinson at Fulham could be really interesting one. Brighton, Newcastle, Southampton, the next 3. I don't hate that. But we're not really backing Fulham for clean sheets. To be honest, the most secure one there is Taylor, and he might have the hardest set of fixtures of the lot in the next 2. I'd go Taylor. Charlie Taylor's such a good player to bench option, I think. So Charlie Taylor would be the one, mate. Gus, you ain't need to write it once, mate. Dallas or Chilwell bench. Don't bench Ben Chilwell, mate. Vimty Soccer, hi James, play Souček or Welbeck. You know me, it's going to be play Welbeck. Sorry I can't pronounce your name. Diaz or Maguire, is Mount a good option? Not big on Mason Mount. Playing very well, but not big on him as an option. Diaz or Maguire, I presume that's to buy one. If you're buying one, generally right now I'd buy Harry Maguire. Stian Bosdale, did you watch the Gunners react to the defeat against Burnley? I'm a Blues fan, but my heart break for them. The more their heart breaks, mate, the happier my life is. No sympathy from me. Sorry, guys. I'll tell it like it is. But in terms of sympathy, no. That was the highlight of my birthday was watching them trudge off depressed. Love the guy who put the face mask over his eyes. What a hero. He knew best not to be seen on the TV. JKS, which is Souček or Lookman is the better buy? 5 minutes to deadline, guys. Depends. Short-term Lookman, long-term Souček. I'm a big fan of Souček. The guys will know that. Antonino Gitto, Ayling or Lamptey, struggling. It's probably Ayling just. Slightly better chance for clean sheet, I think. Stian Bosdale, Robertson or Walker Peters for a clean sheet. Got James or Chilwell. You ain't leaving Robertson out, mate. Stop thinking about the clean sheet with Robertson. Think about the attacking return. Made 100 crosses this season, Andrew Robertson. 27 more than any other player in the league. Notorious Nerd, who gets more minutes this game week? Bruno or KDB? Bruno, if you're asking, but there's every chance they both play 90. Peter Widmark, hello James. I'm 160 points back in my mini league, and is therefore considering Sterling over KDB for captain. Dumb move or time to take some chances? I don't think that's not one to take the chance, because if you take that chance, my friend, you might find that you're 200 points behind by next game week. CFC Kidders is John Stones. I'm going to stick. There's quite a number of John Stones questions, but I'm going to skip that, my friend. 4 minutes to deadline, guys. I'll get through these as quick as I can. Imre says Fernandes and Lookman in for Salah and Jota. Don't hate it, especially if it's for 2-3s. In famous FPL, I just done Sterling to KDB. Side move, but had to be done. What do you think, Sir James? Fine, mate. Michael Crawford, hi James. Target or Justin to start? I play Target versus Burnley. Super Tiger, question for Monday pod. I'm going to come back to that because we're right near the deadline, my friend. Jassim Jazz got captain on KDB and vice on Bruno. Is it risky because there's a chance both missing out the game? It's midweek fixtures. Of course there's a risk. Vikrant, Rashford for Son. On this week, yeah, but not beyond, I don't think. So, wouldn't be keen on that for a transfer. Darich H, how many goals will Chelsea score? Give Werner one more chance. Like, of course you can give him a chance. Fixtures are tough, but you can give him a chance. Probably not a brilliant week to move away unless you're coming down to sort of Watkins, Bamford area. So I've predicted 1-1. Prakash, Ziyech out for Pulisic or Rashford. I don't think you can buy Pulisic at the moment, so it'd have to be Rashford. Danny McDonald, sorry if it's been mentioned, just tuned in, but the January fixtures are out. Oh, are they? Fantastic, Danny. I'll have to have a look in a little bit. Rebel FPL. Hey there, Fantasy Football Hub. Happy new member. Yeah, by all means, sign up to the Hub, guys. They're my faves. Shitkrant says, the PL fixtures for Selected Live UK broadcast in January announced. Brilliant, guys. I've not seen it yet. It's going to make some fun on the pods this week, especially for the patrons. Vikrant says, please reply. Rashford for Son. Already have Bruno. No. Philip says, hello James, thoughts on Mountain's replacement for Jota? Not keen. I'd rather go cheaper. Lookman Caballero level, Suchek, and use the money at the weekend. Alex Sava, 4.5 million defender until wildcard in game week 16. I'm going to go with Charlie Taylor because that's the one I said for the previous question. Edge of frame. Hi James, would you bench DCL or Adams? All my midfielders are 8 million or higher. Adams. Darich H, find the all-out chip. Ask them boys, best podcast of the year and all that. See if they can find that all-out attack chip for you. Darich H, Werner and Mount to Rashford and Bamford, -4. I don't hate it, actually. I feel like I should, but I don't. Prakash says, Ziyech out for Pulisic or Rashford. You've already asked that. Once will do, mate. You're denying other people. You'll just get muted for future. Benny Blanco, who's the best captain choice this week, mate? What football team do you support? You're a piss taker. FPL Ibro, January fixtures announced. So I've got the message now, guys. Nasu, would you consider selling Chilwell next game week for TAA for a hit, though? Still have wildcard? I'd just consider it now, mate. FPL Hitman, Benny, I think he supports Arsenal, mate. Look at the Gunnosaurus on his hat. Mahesh says, Benny was taking a piss, and I know that. Mahesh says, hey James, get Target or Bednarek. 1 minute to deadline. Get Target or Bednarek. Target. Robertson, Lamptey and Target, Bednarek. Start 2, bench 1. You play Robertson and Target, in my opinion. 1 N, 1 go. 2 free transfers. No fires. Do I move Justin or Wilson? I'd probably move Justin on the fixtures, actually. William Jones, which one to play? Cresswell, Lamptey or Ayling? I'd probably go Cresswell. Pete Haley. Hi James, I've got KW, Balbuena, Ayling. Who to drop? KWP. Tenzin, bench Lamptey or Che Adams? Play Che Adams, mate. Patrick, hi James, hope you're well. Sufel or Adams? Play Adams. Always going to be the striker for me, guys. Callum Stokes, TV fixtures out for Jan. I don't know that, do I? Because I'm sitting here answering all your questions. Just the timing for that's absolutely abysmal. But I do look forward to having a look. It is 4:30 p.m. as far as I am concerned, guys. For those who've asked questions and I didn't get to, apologies. I'm happy to continue to stream for 10 minutes, but I'm going to skip all the questions. And if anybody's got any non-FPL questions, I'm happy to answer them. If anybody has a question that I didn't answer, again, apologies. If you want to slide in my DM, feel free to, but it's probably not going to do you much good now. If anybody's got any questions that are non-FPL, I've skipped all the questions that I haven't covered. I'm happy to cover that for the next 10 minutes or so. So fire if you've got anything. Otherwise, I'll just end the stream, kids. Malaysia saying league code. The answer for the league code, my friend, is unavailable, I'm afraid. Entries closed to the mini league. That's because there's a prize on the end of it. So we closed entries for the mini league at the end of October. Wonder if I can get these fixtures. See if I can give a initial reaction. Lauren Harris says mince pie or slice of Yule log. Just makes me think of yesterday's podcast title, Lauren. I'm not a fan of mince pies. All these Christmas things. I love Brussels sprouts at Christmas. I don't mind Brussels sprouts, but why is it just a Christmas thing? Christmas pudding. Fuck off, is shit. I was around my dad's at the weekend. We'll get a big turkey if you're coming over. Just get fucking beef or gammon, Dad. Like, fuck all this bollocks. They're both better meats. Savant says, do you watch La Liga, mate? I don't really have the time anymore. I mean, I've missed 4 Premier League games this season that I haven't watched in entirety. So I can't get this information on the TV fixtures, which is slightly annoying. Broadcast picks for January announced. I don't have the time anymore, unfortunately, to watch. It's one regret at the moment in terms of what I'm doing. I have to prioritise the Premier League games, and once I've watched 15 hours of football over a weekend, I really don't feel like I've got time for the Liga or anything else, unfortunately. So no, unfortunately not. Used to always watch Barcelona every weekend, sometimes drunk. Shamil Galani says, hey legend, non-FPL trivia question, who is only English team in the Scottish leagues? Berwick Rangers, isn't it, I believe, mate? Right, fixtures. Who's got this double game week then? So it looks like teams that blank, unless I've got this wrong. So let's check the double week actually first, James. So West Ham, West Brom, we knew had a double. Double confirmed for Leicester, Chelsea, Leeds, Southampton, Fulham, Man United, Liverpool, Burnley. Not happy with that because I was very hopeful that Spurs would have a double. Actually, that's my first instinct. That is gonna make my wild card more difficult. I was very hopeful Spurs would have a double. I was also quite hopeful that Arsenal would have a double, and they don't either. At the moment, Burnley Manchester United is not scheduled into that set of fixtures as far as I can see. But we'll cover this. My Ask James stream is on Thursday. And I'll be doing that around about 1 o'clock. I'm doing it Thursday rather than Friday this week, because on Friday we want to review all the games, which obviously include the 2 games on Thursday. So it'll be a main feature podcast on Friday. So my Ask James stream Thursday is going to be a good one to throw in some questions at me. I'm obviously literally having an initial look at what it is. For the patrons in the chat, I'll get the old Scry spreadsheet updated for you again tonight, and we'll be making some big plans for that. Cesar says, what do you think about Ballon d'Or best 11 ever? Ridiculous. They get murdered on the counter-attack. I did see the team. Hippoc07 legendary at Planet FPL. How is Harry's ball control coming along? Not bad, not bad. Likes to grab it quite a lot. In terms of football, yeah, not bad. I mean, it's not ideal at the moment because of conditions and in terms of COVID and weather. Every time we seem to be at home with him, it always seems to be raining or wet at the moment, so that's not ideal. And priority at the moment is obviously protecting him. But yeah, right foot, left foot. What he started doing recently is adjusting his body. So if he decides he wants to kick it a certain way, he walks around the ball now. Whereas before he just used to, it's in front of him, just kick it. If he decides he wants to kick it a certain way, he tends to walk around the ball. He's coming along. I can't train him properly. He's just turned 2, right? I'm thinking about early retirement, aren't I? Perlo's Pen says, game week 19 doubles. Thanks for popping it in the chat. I think I probably said it correct from what I've seen. Mark Dear Love Maris for Mane. Deadline's gone, my friend. David Cole's non-FPL. Will Fulham finish above Woolwich this season? I'd love that, mate, but no, I can't see that. That would be amazing, particularly when you watch the two teams play each other in game week 1. 1M, 1 Go, non-FPL. Who have been your favourite teams to watch this season? Leeds, Southampton would be the main two, and then at times Aston Villa as well. Chelsea on occasion have been pretty good this year. I've either been really impressed with them or quite deflated. But say Leeds games are just fun, aren't they? I think the team I've enjoyed watching the most is probably Southampton. Moobsy, Ben Crellin has tweeted fixtures. Cheers. The problem is I'm in here answering your fixtures, aren't I, guys? So, yep, give Ben a follow. He's the master and the guru. Super Tiger, thanks for the help. If you don't think you're realistically entitled, Chasers, Carabao Cup take on greater importance than FA Cup. It does as well because of the draw, because obviously we've got Marine in the FA Cup, and should we beat Stoke in the League Cup quarter-final, which you would ask the question earlier, wasn't it? Sorry, mate. Should we beat Stoke in the League Cup quarter-final, the League Cup semi-finals before the FA Cup weekend, I want to say. So, yeah, that probably helps a little bit. And look, it's only one leg of the semi-finals as well this year, so then, you're nearly in the final. Does it take on greater importance in the FA Cup? Yes, because of where we are at in the stage of the competition. FPL Ibro, check Ben Crellin's tweet with a fixture list. Safe. FPL Hitman, what's the feeling this time around for a top of the table clash for you? Last time was versus Leicester, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure I understand the question, my friend. Sorry. What's the feeling this time for a top of the table clash for you? Last time was versus Leicester, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure I understand the question, mate. Sorry. Unless you're asking me about when Tottenham played Leicester in 2016. I mean, we played Leicester in January, and Man City and Arsenal were very much in the race. It didn't feel like, although it might have been first v seconds, I don't think it was. I mean, we definitely wouldn't have been top. It didn't feel like that. This actually feels more, possibly. I went into that game that night thinking if we beat Leicester, they were finished. They won it at the death, well, not at the death, about 10 minutes to go. And they shouldn't have that night. But Leicester won many games 1-0 that year. Vincent says, thanks, James. Great stream. Stay healthy and have some great holidays. Where am I going, mate? But I appreciate it. Super Tiger, what's your go-to alcoholic drink in winter? Be the same ones as they are in summer, to be honest. I haven't had any alcohol since the last Champ Man stream I did, which I think was August the 8th. So over 4 months now, I haven't had a drink. No, I'm not losing weight because I'm just fucking eating worse. But my drinking days might be done. Vikram says, when can we see Suj do a deadline stream? You don't want to see that, mate. FPL worried, do you find playing draft helps regular FPL? No, but I'm enjoying kicking the patrons' asses at it. FPL Hitman, check your Slack DM, mate. I sent you a click. Sounds a bit rude, mate. The TV fixtures. Okay. Thank you, my friend. He's already updated his spreadsheet, hasn't he? What a superstar. So, yeah, I think I had it right in terms of the way I read it out. But we'll confirm. We'll have a look at Ben Crellin's timeline. FPL with Bro, I think, has put the doublers into the chat as well there. Jordan Harrison, who you on for captains on Sky for the next few days, mate? So, I'm probably going to go Bruno. KDB tonight. Salah tomorrow, I think. I might go Bamford, but I think I'm going to go Salah. I would need to hear something in the next hour or so that made me concerned about KDB. And Thursday, I'm buying Bruno back. So it'd be Bruno on Thursday. Oh, FBL Ibro saying the teams that blank are above. Okay. Victor Sandberg, shout out to you and Serge. Your podcast is without doubt the best FPL pod. Listening to your analysis of games is a true pleasure. Appreciate that. Good luck for the game week. Hippoc07 says, haha, brilliant. Joe Finley Badass. So what you're saying is Project Mbappe for Harry is on. Yeah, mate. Moobsy is Dyer a bargain at 5 million from next week. If you're on a longer term strategy, I don't hate it. Short term, no. Time to attack would be probably game week 16. Patrick, what do your friends and family think about being full-time in FPL? Jealous? One, I don't have time for friends anymore. Two, the family just think it's my job now. So, yeah. My mum likes to watch the streams. I don't think my dad gives a shit. In spite of the fact he always wants my opinion on everything. And the wife doesn't give a shit either. She's like, what time are you doing it? It's only my mum's really got an interest. And I think it's just because she just wants to see her son on YouTube, right? So... friends, this community is all my friends. I don't have time for friends anymore. I'm not joking. I don't have time for them. It's just the way my life's become. Lucky says, bro, that is the team. Bro, English, my friend. Hippox says, how much better have you felt from not having booze? I noticed a big improvement when I cut down. No different, because I'm not fucking exercising properly or anything. If I was drinking, to be honest, I've never been one who drunk at home anyway. It was something that just, I started doing it for the Champ Man streams, and I think it added to the experience for people. So that was the only reason I was drinking. If I hadn't brought a beer to them streams, people would have been like, where's your fucking beer, mate? FPL Hitman, yeah, that's what I meant. 2016 Leicester versus now. Okay, cool. Craig Fleming. Oh, shite, the deadline was 4:30. I'm afraid it was, Craig. FPL Hitman, beer nuts must be going broke without you and Champman streams. Not really, because whoever wins the correspondent league gets manager of the month, gets a crate from beer nuts. So I'm keeping beer nuts fueled with cash. Super Tiger, Spurs been in touch about how they're handling the ticket allocations for the remaining home games. Still keeping it to just PL games. Will you try for Wolfsburg game? Wolfsburger from Austria. Depends at the time, I think, my friend. But Wolfsburg would not be top of my agenda. I was reading a statement from the trust, the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, that 27,000 of the season ticket holders had updated their ID to have picture ID. So I guess it's only 27,000, therefore, that would be eligible for tickets. 4,000 have had tickets now, so I'm one of 23,000 that would kind of be next in line, but it's obviously not going to be for a little while now. So, look, I hope I get to a game before that comes round. I was pretty confident I was going to get a ticket for Leicester this week. I had a feeling, but I also thought we would get moved into Tier 3, which has happened. So I have had an email from Spurs why I've been doing this stream, but I haven't read it as yet. But I think it's just wait till it comes out, and it will keep being a ballot. BL says, why is Dele not in Jose's plans, and will he definitely leave Spurs? What happened? So he doesn't move the ball quick enough between the lines. Simple as that, the problem. And obviously Harry drop into zones that Dele used to pick up now, so that would be clogging up space. He's not good enough to play a deeper role in the team. I do think there's a time and a place for him, such as coming on against Palace. I think we really could have done with Dele for the Burnley and West Brom games, for example. I think we should have been in the squad. We could have done with him for the last 25 minutes or 20 minutes. He doesn't move the ball quick enough. He's lost the legs, and that's through injury. His hamstring injuries that he had were bad. It's just not quite the same. Do I think he definitely leaves? I don't want Dele Alli to leave Spurs. I want Dele Alli to find the form that he had from a few years ago, and if he can find it, then that's like a new signing. Daniel says, how's Sterling captain sound for me? Risky. Can't believe he's only 4.6 owned. Still risky. What no graphics? If a tomato is a fruit, then should ketchup be a jam? We went to a Waffle House on Sunday, and in my breakfast they had jam ketchup. Weird. FPL Hitman says, cheers mate, see you later. No probs. That's the end of the comments. I'll leave the stream now. I've got another recording with Suj. Patrons, if you're still in the chat, I'll get the Sky spreadsheet updated for you very late this evening following the football and get that to you. Good luck for the game week, guys. Deadline's gone. Enjoy the football. It's spread over 3 nights. It'll probably feel a little bit better than it does over the weekends at the moment, because it's just evening games, and there's choice of which games to watch tomorrow and stuff. So anyway, hope your arrows are green. Good luck. Sky podcast tomorrow. Ask James will be 12 or 1 o'clock on Thursday. We'll probably cover for a little bit of strategy then, and I'm sure me and Suj will on Friday's main podcast as well. For the patrons, Tottenham podcast tomorrow. That's what we're going to record now, so that'll be out early for you on Wednesday. Quiz on Thursday, surprised by Rob Pick. Game week 13. Differential preview show for game week 14 on Friday. If you'd like to support Planet FPL on Patreon, we will not make you better FPL managers. You'll be supporting the content and the hard work that we put in. You'll get additional content, and you'll probably have a far more enjoyable FPL experience. But we won't make you better FPL managers. Have a good week, guys. Deadline stream on Saturday will be, I want to say, 10 o'clock. Game week starts with Crystal Palace Liverpool. It's a 10 a.m. Saturday. Speak to you all soon. Good luck for the game week. Ciao for now.